Don't think, just create. They will come. There are times when it's best to stop thinking and just try something, anything. By Christopher Boswell. Read by Brandon Roseanne. To invent, you need a good imagination and a pile of junk. Thomas A. Edison. The wonderful advent of the World Wide Web. When the internet was in its infancy, I made one smart decision: to buy my domain name. Yes, that's right, my own name, Christopher Boswell. It was in 1990, and most people had not done it yet, let alone heard of it. It was fun to see a Google search bring up my links covering the first several pages. Oh, how things have changed. Today, a Google search with my given name mixed with several other search terms that should bring a result pointing to my pages instead bring a bunch of results for another imposter, Chris Boswell. He's the NFL football kicker currently playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is a bit frustrating, but that's another story. At least he can't get the domain name. Ha! Kooky football man. Finding eBay in my own little startup. It did not take long before I found eBay and created an account. I've been a PayPal member since its inception in 1998, 21 years ago. Wow. I saw some matted prints of my photography. It was fun. I soon decided to mark all the places my pictures were going on a US map. There are no rules. That is how art is born, how breakthroughs happen. Go against the rules or ignore the rules. That is what invention is about. Helen Frankenthaler. Before long, it was full except for one state, North Dakota. Not a ton of folks, let alone art lovers there. Finally, I got it. An order was sent and my pictures were hanging somewhere in all 50 states. It was grand, but I wanted more. After all, there are 195 countries in the world. I was just getting started. I've seen many other artists using different media create lithograph runs of their work. It was expensive. I had always printed on demand. I had no idea how this could happen for me. But I took action and began talking about it. Soon the universe conspired to support me, and a man I was working for asked if he could fund the project. Elevation overflowed. Reprinted 12 of my images on a Heidelberg press, 1,000 each. It cost a small fortune. Watching the process was amazing. Soon there would be 4 large packages of each print, multiplied by 2, equaling 48-18 by 24 inch packs weighing 60 pounds or so each. It took 2 pickup loads to get all this paper home. Very surprising. I was learning as I went. Storage of the 12,000 newly acquired artworks. I had seriously overdone it. The sheer amount of weight and cubic space these things embodied was daunting. I needed to find a way to sell more and fast. There is a little something, a tool I have learned over the years, a shift in thinking. Changing the question brings better, more relevant answers or solutions. Instead of saying, "What have I done?" or "Why can't I?" it's better to ask, "How can I?" It was clear. I needed some help selling, so I took a day to create a printed catalog. It turned out pretty well. Now, all I had to do was find someone to show it. Great things are not done by impulse, but a series of small things brought together. Vincent van Gogh. Knowing that artists often hired reps to help show and sell, I looked in the phone book under artist reps. Making a few calls, I quickly became discouraged, which led to more brainstorming. How can I? Then it hit me. Off I went to the Seattle Food and Gift Show with my prints in a folio, a catalog, and a few business cards. All the while, my brain telling me, "You are not ready." I had an artsy buddy at the time. He came along. We walked around for a while, looking at stuff we liked. He was into antiques. I didn't approach anyone, and after a while, he commented that he had seen enough and wanted to go home. It was just then we approached a booth that had art hanging inside, mostly lithographs of work by painters or illustrators. We both intuitively stopped, just looking at the work. 2 women were sitting apart from each other, their backs to us. My heart began pounding, knowing something was about to happen. I would have to make the approach, putting myself out there if I wanted anything new and different. Before I could speak, one of the women turned around, looked at us, and said, "Hello." To this day, I'm still astounded at how fast it all happened. She asked what we were looking for. I asked if she represented artists. Her reply came with a sideways look. "Sometimes," she said. I can't even remember what I said, but I do remember handing her the portfolio. Everyone got quiet as she turned the pages, only 6 of them with the lithographs on each side. It only took a few moments and she spoke again. "Do you have some of these already printed?" "Yes," I replied, 1,000 of each. That seemed to please her. "Create it first. They will come. If you're to create something powerful and important, You must at the very least be driven by an equally powerful inner force. Ryan Holiday. Her wheels were already turning, building a game plan. She was not going to lay it out for me, but her hand came out open and met with mine. We shook on it and smiled at each other. She said, "Now don't be bugging me. These things take time. Have patience. I'm keeping this catalog." Not wanting to upset anything, I just thanked her and left. Build it. They will come. Orders began to come in the very next day. I had to buy a fax machine at her request to receive them. At the end of the week, I had 15 new clients, with a big standout, the Space Needle gift shop. She called me. "What a name drop," she says, and instructs me to get 2 pieces framed for them to use in a display. The Space Needle began selling 600 prints a month. If it doesn't sell, it isn't creative. David Ogilvy. By the end of month 2, she had my products in 100 stores, museums, and gift shops. I no longer needed to think. There were only orders to fill. What is it that you can create? Offering it to the world. That's enough out of me. Happy trails. Cheers, Christopher. When Christopher isn't writing from wherever, he can be found traveling or capturing photographs somewhere in the United States. He may be generating graphic designs, building a website, processing images or video, flying his unmanned aerial vehicle, wrangling dogs, or backpacking and kayaking. He lives in Tacoma, Washington. We invite you to learn more about Christopher at Will Rendell Creative. Thank you.